Welcome into another episode of Rip N Riff here on the Rip N Riff YouTube channel. That over there in the lovely New Jersey Devils hat is Mr. Jared Moore. I am at Pucking Thoughts, Adam Bernard, and it is December 2nd. Holy crap, we are close to changing the calendars here.
Oh my God, we're really doing the Francesa. If you blink, the season's over. Bit we're really doing that.
Come on, you got to at least reference it once at this time of the year. But yeah, how are we doing? How are we feeling after week 13 in the NFL? Still Monday night to go.
I feel fine as I can as a Giants fan, where the season's been long over, and as a fantasy player, where the season's been long over because it's been one of those years, and it kind of is what it is at this point. So now I'm just sorely. Now I'm just sort of laying back and accepting my inevitable death. How are you?
I'm very much alive in both of the fantasy football leagues that matter. So I'm still doing that. Yes, football season, as we talked about last week, is over for both of our respective franchises, even though there's still games left to be played. But it should be an exciting playoff race in both, or at least a decent playoffs. But we're going to go through all the sports today. You know, Jared's got some football cards. I've got some baseball. We're going to go hologram Stanley Cup chasing. Starting lineup figure 5 is a basketball guy today. But let's get to the pack rec lineup, and then I got a little something I want to show you quick that I got at the Sharks Kraken game on Friday. So there we go. That's what we're looking at here for today. I've got 2020 Topps Baseball Update Series. Devin Williams, Trent Grisham, Randy Arozarena, and Nestor Cortez rookies there. All-star stitches, auto patches, own the name. Those are some of the things we're looking for besides the rookies. And of course, cup chasing today. What we really want is that Stanley Cup 105,000 hologram card. None of those rookies are going to be worth a lot because it's a mass-produced set, but of course, some big names up there and some Hall of Famers like Jeremy Roenick, Mike Modano, Ed Belfour, Rod Brindamore. It goes on and on. Yager. So there we go. A little baseball and hockey. You got a little baseball hot stove going on. What are you bringing to the table today, Jared?
Yeah, I'm bringing a couple of these Score Summit Edition 1995 NFL packs. So we got 7 players per pack. I got 2 packs here. You see the rookies there on the screen. So Steve McNair and Kerry Collins and Warren Sapp and Slash and all those guys. So we'll see if any of them pop up in this one. This was another cheap Toy Wiz pickup a few months ago, and I figured, you know what, now's a good time to bust it open.
We do love Toy Wiz. They do have a pretty good selection on packs. I know the baseball pack we're opening today is a Toy Wiz product. Now, before we get to the Rip and Rant for today, so I went to the Sharks Kraken game, Black Friday game. It was a little afternoon matinee, 12:30 puck drop. Went with the family. My daughter had a blast, although she got a little startled when the Sharks scored a minute and a half in. She didn't realize what was going on. I'd be like, it's okay, everybody's happy. And she was fine after that. But the giveaway they did was it was like San Jose Sharks cards here. And these were the packs that they gave away to everybody on the way in the door. Now, I was going to actually rip these today, but then I realized when you look on the back of the pack, because my daughter wanted to open her pack, it's just the same players over and over. So I don't know if it's different cards or different positions or different like photos. But so there you got like Magnus Krona. Let's get to some of the good ones there. Colin Graff. Quinnipiac, so it's kind of got that like reflective feel. They almost feel like playing cards. There's Will Smith. Let's see here, your old buddy Shakir Mukhma. I can't say his last name. I'll have to at some point. And then of course,
Luka Madulin.
Thank you, appreciate it. And
by the way, I like the Magnus Krona card, even though he got traded to the Predators a few months ago in that Askarov trade.
Yeah, I mean it's a cool goalie master. He got a little bit of a look for them last year. And then, of course, we got Macklin Celebrini there in the practice jersey. Sam Dickinson, also somebody they took in the first round this year. So that was a cool little giveaway. I might open one of the packs just to see if it's literally just these cards over and over again, if there's some variety. But, always nice to get some free cards at a hockey game.
Yeah, I would guess it's probably, if you're the Sharks right now, you're selling the future. And that's certainly what they're doing in those packs with, a lot of their top prospects and whatnot. Guys like Celebrini and the Will Smiths of the world, Sam Dickinson, all that. So
they call it the Rising Stars card pack.
I mean, they're not wrong. You're not going to get Mark Edward Vlasic in a Rising Stars pack in 2024, unfortunately.
Not a Logan Couture either. He's I don't know when he's coming back, but if he's coming back, but he hasn't really played at all. I saw an interesting take today that Macklin Celebrini might make the playoffs before Connor Bedard. Something that early in the season, neither is going to make the playoffs this year, but interesting hot take there that I saw. But let's get to one of our favorite segments of the show today. You know it, you love it. It's time to kick things off on Rip N Riff with
my Rip N Rant.
Thanks, Dave. All right, so I'm going to kick things off today. Jared actually not that heated today, so I'm going to be taking the lead here, and I think he'll have something to say. But nonetheless, and I saw this earlier today, and I don't know if you saw the video going around that the Bruins tweeted for like their anniversary celebration, where it's like and it's really cool. It's a drone that flies from outside of Boston into the arena. It goes all through like the Bruins like Hall of Fame, that thing that they have at TD Garden, and then around the rink and all the Bruin legend cameos. It's really cool.
I haven't seen the Bruins version of it, but I mean that seems to be the big thing with social media teams. The social media accounts for the various sports teams nowadays, where they have the drone video that flies through the building. Like I know the Clippers did one similar to that when they opened their new arena last month. So, I mean, I could imagine what the Bruins one looks like.
And it is a trend like that. Aftershock, the heavy metal festival I go to every year, they do one every day of the drone flying around, getting the footage of the crowd and the performance. It's really cool. Now, Frank Saravalli, when he quote tweeted it, he says, "It said you are not a hockey fan if this doesn't give you chills." Now, Jared, you've got a Devils hat on there. You cover the team. You go to Devils games. I'm a former Ranger season ticket holder. I make a 2-hour drive to go watch the Sharks when I can, but that video didn't give me chills because I have no connection to the Bruins organization. So I don't know about you, but I guess that means I'm not a hockey fan anymore. I guess I should take the sign down. I guess I should start getting rid of all my hockey stuff, right?
Yeah, I didn't realize we were gatekeeping there. So, yeah, it didn't give me chills either. So I guess I should stop giving a shit about hockey. I guess I'll move on to basketball or something.
And I know I'm being a little nitpicky here, but my ultimate point being is can we stop doing this? If you don't have this particular take, then you either A, don't know what you're talking about this sport, or B, you are not a real fan. I saw it yesterday too with the Al-Shaair hit on Trevor Lawrence, where people going, "Oh, if you think that's a dirty hit, then you don't know the game of football." And it's like, he came in with his forearm up. You don't have to watch Jacob Trouba every night to know that that's not a clean, that's not clean. Yes, it's a bang, bang play. It's, things happen very quickly in 0.seconds, but there's a way you can try to tackle a sliding quarterback without your forearm up. You know what I mean? But again, it's oh, well, you don't know about football. It's stop. Enough with this. Okay.
A couple things about that hit. One, it also goes noted that Al-Shaair wears this huge brace on his elbow, basically some Barry Bonds body armor type of stuff that he led with going in for that hit. But I actually wanted to tweet when I saw that hit. My initial reaction was Lawrence slid too late. I didn't think it was necessarily that bad in moment. And then when I saw everybody killing Al-Shaair for the hit, I was like, I'm not going to be the contrarian on this one. I'm not going to tweet this out.
And yes, Lawrence did, listen, again, fast, but he also, this is not somebody that has a reputation as not playing on the edge. And when you play defense, you have to play on the edge. You're a good defender if you play on that line. But, my ultimate point being oh, you don't know football if you can think it's a dirty hit and happen to still know a lot about football. I'm sure there are plenty GMs, coaches, scouts that do nothing but eat, breathe, shit, sleep football that thought it was a dirty hit. People can disagree. Neither side can be right or wrong. Both sides can be right. Both sides can be wrong. It's an opinion.
Right. Well, opinions are like buttholes. Everybody has one. They all stink. So
correct. It's just it's instead of saying oh, well, you don't know, it's just stop. It's just it's old, it's lazy. It's come on, do better than that.
Yep. I don't have anything else to add, my friend.
Well, I'm glad we had some weeks it's been you that's been, and me sitting back this week. This was just something that caught my attention before the show, and yesterday I'm we're gonna do it today. But there we go. Got a little Rip and Rant out of the way. I'm feeling a little bit better now. I think I'm ready to rip some cards. Now, we just talking a little bit about football there. Do you want to kick us off here with a little 95 score?
Yeah, let's do this. We'll get it, these football packs going since we're on the topic here. I don't know how much we're going to talk about the particular players in here, and hopefully these cards don't stick together. I mean, we're dealing with 35-year-old football cards at this point, and yeah, they're sticking together a little bit, but I do like the look and the presentation of these cards already. So, no East Coast camp today, but we are going to as soon as I get them unstuck. All right, here we go.
A little bit of breaking action.
Yeah. But it's a nice, clean, basic look here, and we start with Lorenzo Neal with the New Orleans Saints.
You talk about a bygone era. Fullbacks very much fallen by the wayside, but he was one of the good ones.
Yeah, unfortunately, now we're in an era where, fullbacks are rare, and a lot of these teams will just throw a tight end back there at fullback. So, not quite the same. One of the legends here at the quarterback position, Randall Cunningham.
That Eagles win in Baltimore yesterday, what does that do for you? And because everybody's all gaga over the Lions as they should be, but I mean, is it the Lions and Eagles and everybody else in the NFC at this point?
Yeah, I think so. Excuse me. I still think Detroit's the better team.
Agreed.
1-53, and I think it's clearly Detroit and Philly on that top tier, and then that next tier is probably teams like Minnesota. I guess Green Bay, Washington, whoever wins the NFC West. So.
And then whoever wins the NFC South is in their own tier below.
Yeah,
I like Tampa. I think Tampa can be dangerous if they win the division.
Right, but Tampa's one of those teams. I feel like they could beat any team and lose to any team.
Yeah,
but I think it's clearly like Detroit and Philly are on that A tier in the NFC, and then everybody else is kind of fighting for second place, which is gonna make the bye in the NFC all that more important. I mean. I think Philly will be able to handle whoever they play that first weekend, but you don't want to have to play an extra game.
Yeah, exactly. And you don't want let's say somehow Tampa ends up as the 7. Tampa's already beaten Philly this year. That's not getting the bye is so important. And it's Detroit. It doesn't. Detroit has Minnesota and Green Bay nipping on their heels for the division too, so they can't get too lax either. So it's going to go down to the last couple of weeks there.
Yep. All right, so we move on to an AFC conference checklist card here with let me try not to drop it. Dan Marino on the front with the biggest knee brace I think I've ever seen on a player while he's warming up.
That looks like one of those old quarterback challenge competitions they'd have on a beach in California.
That's exactly what that looks like.
I used to love those things. They'll never do them again because of the, if a player gets, the whole Robert Edwards thing, getting hurt or playing beach volleyball or whatever it was. But yeah, those used to be fun when you get the best quarterbacks out there, accuracy, distance, speed. That was fun.
Yeah, they're trying to bring that back a little bit with the Pro Bowl games, but it's not quite the same.
Oh.
Tony Baselli rookie card here. You can tell it's a rookie because the big old text there at the top of there that says rookie. So, a Hall of Famer rookie card. I guess we can't complain about that.
Hall of Famer and a quality radio analyst there too.
Yeah, he does a good job on the Westwood One broadcast. So good for him. Your guy from back in the day, Adrian Morrell. I don't know why I keep dropping these cards, but
Clay Butterfingers today.
Yeah, but I love the look of those Jets uniforms back in the day.
B2. But here's the thing, and let me tell you about those Jets uniforms. As much as I love them, I think it's a great look. They didn't want to go back to that look forever because they were terrible during that era. And then they try to replicate that look after changing the look a few years ago. They change it again coming into the season to kind of have that vibe. And here it is again, just another train wreck. I think when they get away from that logo, that look, they'll never go back to it.
Well, I would say the look doesn't matter so much as it is just the garbage history the organization has. But yeah, to me, that Jets logo there, that's what the Jets are. Embrace that,
Yes.
And also, they're one of those teams they should never wear all black.
Yeah, I get it. You have a third jersey for jersey sales and all that stuff. I get it. You want to do it once a year. fine, but never more than that. And I don't think the Seahawks were the right opponent to do it against, because like my friend was like, I almost thought it looked like the Seahawks were playing themselves because of the coloring.
Yep. All right, and we finish this with a pair of Vikings running backs here, Amp Lee and Robert Smith.
Amp Lee, I remember Robert Smith, also former Sirius XM host. I mean, I don't know if he's still working there, but yeah, good, really good running back. You know, played on some good Vikings teams, but never really went deep in the playoffs. Let me get your take on the Vikings. I heard somebody say that they're like the typical playoff team that's going to get that beats bad teams, but is going to get exposed the second they play somebody better, like significantly better than them.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I like the defense. I know Darnold's playing well, but I don't know. I mean, if it's a Eagles Vikings first round matchup, I don't know how deep into the fourth quarter that one's going to go.
I was not overly impressed with their win yesterday against the Arizona Cardinals. I mean, credit to them for getting the job done and winning the game, but I felt like that was one where Arizona kind of gave the game away.
Does anybody want to win the NFC West? I mean, San Francisco's banged up. The Rams or whatever.
Yeah, and that's, if you notice, that's why I haven't done a stock up in a while, because ever since I said stock up for the 49ers, they haven't won a game. So it shows what I know.
If you want to put a hex on anybody, go ahead right now.
I mean, the Philadelphia Eagles, nobody's ever looked better than them. I mean, they're going right to the Super Bowl. You know, Saquon Barkley for MVP. You know, Jalen Hurts, first ballot Hall of Famer. The tush push can't be stopped. A.J. Brown looks phenomenal. And just wait until this team gets Devontae Smith back.
Look at you, just all of a sudden very pro Eagles. Funny how that works out.
Yeah, it is funny how that works out. Of course, now because I'm doing it in a very tongue-in-cheek manner, it's going to go the other way.
You're going to win by like 20-10 every week.
Yeah. So we have our NFC conference checklist with Steve Young on the front of it, also throwing a pass at what appears to be some sort of skills competition sort of thing, sponsored by Foot Action.
Lefty quarterbacks, don't get a ton of them. There's one.
Yep. We have an offensive weapons insert card here with Michael Irvin, the playmaker. I mean, his nickname was literally the playmaker, so doesn't get much more of being an offensive weapon than that.
And he absolutely lived up to that. That was not just a nickname. That was a slogan.
I'm also surprised in this age where anybody's number will get retired. The Cowboys haven't retired 88. Instead, they just like to take that number and hand it to like the next great wide receiver in their lineage. So like Michael Irvin had it, and then Des Bryant had it. And now CeeDee Lamb has it, and somebody will have it after CeeDee Lamb's no longer there. And part of me actually really respects that. I think that's pretty cool.
Pretty sure Michigan does that with the number one, where not everybody gets it. It's like a very like special thing to wear the number one. There's a couple of colleges or teams that have like things like that with a number. But yeah, I don't know if the Cowboys ever retire 80, but if they are, it's got to be for Irvin first.
Right. Or you could just do like the Yankees with number 8 with Bill Dickey and Yogi Berra. Just retire for like 3 guys. Like, who cares?
Rangers did that with the number 9 with Adam Graves and Andy Bathgate, and I believe they did that with number 11 with Messier and Vic Hatfield, I think.
Don't get me started on the Rangers. It's Devils Rangers tonight. Don't get me started on the Rangers. Eric Durrett with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers looks like catching a pass falling on the ground. So
I have an Eric Rett starting lineup in that exact jersey combination.
How about that? We got a rookie card here with Terrell Fletcher with the San Diego Chargers. I made sure it said San Diego there, since that is accurate to the time being.
They're San Diego. They're not LA. I know they're LA, but they're not LA. The Rams are LA's team.
We got another Cowboy here, and another member of the triplets there with Emmitt Smith.
I love those old Cowboy jerseys that they used to just trot out on Thanksgiving for a while. The stars on the sleeves.
Charlie Garner with our Philadelphia Eagles, who are going to the Super Bowl.
And not just going to the Super Bowl, they're going to set all sorts of records along the way.
Oh, yeah, they're going to be the greatest team in NFL history.
They're not losing. They're winning out.
Oh, man. And last but not least, rookie card here, Tyrone Wheatley, one of the rookies that we had mentioned there. So we do pull that rookie card.
the second time we've pulled the Tyrone Wheatley rookie on this show, I believe. Although I wish he
Oh
was.
yeah.
I believe he was. I wish he was wearing something more than just a blank. I'm sure they like photoshopped it out. That was like before like he got to the Giants or Giants practice jersey or whatever it is. But
Yeah, this looks like probably like rookie minicamp the first year. Like, you know how they go through the training camps and like they'll give you the helmet, but they won't put the logo on it because you haven't quote unquote earned it yet. That's what
correct.
this looks like.
Yeah, no, it's got that old Giants blue to it. Yeah, it's the nail on the head there. Nail on the head.
And that's it for our Pinnacle Score NFL football cards from 1995.
I enjoyed that. That was a good. It was a good couple of football packs there. A little memory lane. Talked a little current football. That was nice.
I think what I liked is that the packs were mostly star heavy. There weren't a lot of randos in those packs.
That's always what we're looking for. Listen, we know we're not pulling heavy hitters out of some of these packs. We just want guys that you remember watching, or you know, maybe that actually had a career, and not like who the hell was that? That's not what we're looking for there. There we go. A little score football. Now let's get to baseball here. You know, Juan Soto's still out there. Red Sox are in the mix, apparently. Yankees, Mets. I mean, who knows how much longer this is going to go on, but I would like some resolution sooner rather than later.
I'm also just genuinely curious about like these 2020 baseball cards because that was peak pandemic. And then especially an update series like this, I'm guessing it was probably a lot of empty seats. And you remember some of the gimmicks that some of these teams were doing with the cardboard cutouts behind home plate to make it look like fans were there and stuff like that. So I wonder how much of that will be actually reflected in the cards or if they'll just go back to like 2019, 2018 photos the best they can.
So 2021 would probably reflect that more because if it's 2020, it's 2019 photos. But like just taking a quick look at the pack here, there's an Angels pack Angels card where I can't tell if it's the pandemic or just nobody going to an Angels game.
Well, I mean that's the Angels who are in last place all the time. But I mean, I feel like they used to draw pretty well with you know when they had Ohtani and Trout. So I don't know.
I'm considering trying to go if they're in town when I take my daughter to Disneyland in the spring. But then, like, do I really want to go to a baseball game after being in Disneyland all day? But we'll find out come later on this year. First up out of the pack here, an active leaders card, Miguel Cabrera. One of the, you know, he retired after this year, but talk about a guy that I enjoyed watching a ton. In there, okay. Let's see here. We got gonna butcher the pronunciation here. Myberis Valoria, Royals catcher there. Good action shot, if nothing else. Oh, this is a good one here. This is a guy, Ronald Acuna Jr., the Braves.
There we go. Not quite a rookie card, unfortunately, but you know, Ronald Acuna, one of the best young players in the league.
Yeah, Braves are always in the mix there. Seems like they're perennially in the mix. They're just one of those teams. Not a great last name here, Aaron Bummer. I mean, I'm sure he's gotten that. I'm sure he's gotten made fun or gotten like Zig Fracassi-esque nicknames as a result of that last name.
Yeah, I'm sure he's been the butt of jokes as a result of that last name. I know he got traded last year, I think, to the Braves, so no longer with the White Sox, but you know, quality big league reliever.
That's a bummer. He got traded. All right, we got 3 Rockies in a row.
He got traded away from the White Sox, so for him, it was probably a blessing in disguise. He's like, oh, thank God, I get to go to a halfway decent team.
Yeah, that's true. We got out of there. We got Drew Butera, Rockies catcher. It's a cool little shot there. Antonio Sensatella with the Rockies. 3 Rockies in one pack should be illegal. And Chris Owings here.
Oh my goodness. I do like the Rockies purple jersey top, though.
I was just going to comment on that. Yeah, that's when you have a color that's like not like the typical blue, red, green, you go with like a purple or a teal. You should absolutely lean into that as much as possible and wear it as much as possible.
Yeah, like that should be their default uniforms for 162 games of the season. You don't need the road grays. You don't need the home pinstripes. Just give me the purple top with either white or gray pants, depending whether you're home or in the road.
What about these stupid sleeveless Rocky jerseys? 4 Rockies in a pack here. Jeez.
Yeah, like those are bad, and they should feel bad.
Yeah. A cutoff shirt is for like backyard barbecues. It's not for the pitching mound or a baseball field. Let's see here. He's not quite living La Vida Loca, but we got Richie Martin here. The Orioles.
Okay.
I got nothing else for that.
I know. I got nothing else on top of that.
We got like a hologramic parallel here of Jose Iglesias with the Baltimore Orioles. So a lot of back-to-back teams in this pack. What else do we have here? We got Yasmani Tomas from the Arizona Diamondbacks.
I will say with the Iglesias card, the OMG stuff from last year with the Mets just kind of wore, really chapped my ass as the season was going along, and the Mets were pulling all these wins out of their ass. So I don't expect him back with the Mets, and it's not that I'm rooting for the player to fail, but I am very much rooting for the 15 minutes of fame here to be just about up.
All right, fair enough. Yeah, sometimes those things. I mean, I don't care. I'm not in New York anymore, so it didn't probably would have annoyed me a lot more had I been in the mix of it every day. But yeah, I feel what you're saying.
Yeah, like between that and the Grimace stuff, and the Mets being the team that embraced like all the memes and a hot Tua girl and all that stuff, like that's why they're the Mets.
Yeah, they might get Juan Soto though, so we'll see. We got Ty Buttrey here from the Angels again. Not sure if that was a COVID game or if that's just the poor Angels attendance. Although they're in their road grays, so that's somewhere else that's that has paltry attendance there in the background.
Yeah, I can't really tell which stadium. I would guess Baltimore, but I honestly have no idea.
I have no idea either. Here's the San Francisco Giants, Billy Hamilton. It's been a little bit of a drought there for the Giants after their run of 3 World Series in 6 years or whatever that was. It's been the only one division title since then, and not a bright outlook for them right now.
And the Giants violated my cardinal sin number 1 of running a sports team. They hired a legend to oversee baseball operations there, with Buster Posey basically being the de facto GM there. And the problem with hiring a Buster Posey, a franchise legend, MVP, multiple-time World Series champion, is that at some point when things don't work, you're going to have to fire Buster Posey, and that's going to be incredibly awkward when that day comes and you have to part ways. And that's, to me, this is why you don't hire your franchise icons for like key decision-making roles. If you want to hire somebody else's franchise icon to do it for your team, like I don't know, like when the Montreal Canadiens hired Martin St. Louis to be the head coach, it's like, all right, fine, I get it. He's not a Habs legend, even though he's got ties to Montreal and whatnot. So it's like, at least there I get it, because like eventually the Habs are gonna have to fire Martin St. Louis, probably sooner rather than later, because that rebuild's not going anywhere, and it's not gonna be any skin off their back because it's not like he's a Habs legend. But with what's his face there, with Buster Posey with the Giants, it's gonna be a little bit different once that day comes.
So one thing I learned when I moved to the Bay Area, and I got here in 2016, like Buster Posey is at the same level as like Joe Montana in terms of like up there. Like there has never been like if you say, I can't say anything bad about Buster Posey because somebody might bust his door down middle of the podcast and say, what'd you say? Like you cannot like he's up there with like In-N-Out Burger. Like so. I agree. It's going to be tough when things aren't going well, and you got use the Montreal Canadiens, and like yes, they have a long like list of top players. A lot of those are from yesteryear, but like let's say they hired Saku Koivu, who is a beloved player, and then things don't go well, and now you have to fire. Yeah, it's just an awkward thing. So yeah, but maybe it goes the other way. Maybe Buster Posey turns it around and gets them rings, and then when that day comes, like, hey, we're going to let you go, but we'll give you the opportunity to retire or take an advisory role or something like that. But yeah, if things don't go well, there's going to have to be that awkward conversation with somebody that the fan base is just enamored with.
Well, I'm glad it's not my problem.
Not my problem either. We got a few more baseball cards here before we get on to some Stanley Cup chasing here. We got Brad Miller from the St. Louis Cardinals. Talking about the colored jerseys. Love those red ones for the Cardinals. I think baseball needs to wear more. Like I understand home white or road grays and stuff like that, but a little more color makes things pop for sure.
Yeah, especially if you're one of these teams that has that third jersey where it doesn't feel shoehorned in.
And since we're all over loving Philadelphia on this show, let's get a little Philly love here. Rockin' Philly, Harper and Segura Channel Inner Concert there. A little celebratory photo after a home run. They're having a good time down there at the Citizens Bank Ballpark. But yeah, we love Philly here on Rip N Riff.
Yeah, we certainly love Philly. That extends to the Philadelphia Phillies as well, and Citizens Bank Park, one of the great venues in North America to see a baseball game. So, um, it'll be nice in the spring when the Eagles walk across the parking lot with the Lombardi Trophy, and they get their moment to throw out the first pitch before a Phillies game.
Absolutely. There'll be an Eagles day at the stadium. Half the team will get drunk in one of the boxes. It'll be a fun day for everybody. It's one of those things everybody has a good time and a laugh. And we close the pack with a rookie card here. Not a bad one. This is a prominent baseball players, insert series here. A subset is Gavin Lux rookie card there.
Yeah, Gavin Lux, certainly a part of the Dodgers championship team. I don't think he's quite lived up to his top prospect billing, but certainly good enough to at least be a regular in that lineup. It'll be interesting to see what the Dodgers do moving forward. They've already spent a ton of money this offseason between Blake Snell and they just re-signed Tommy Edman for $74 million over 5 years. And I know they've been one of the teams on the periphery on Soto, and you say on one hand, well, at some point even the Dodgers have their limits, but like I just look at this as a fan of another big market team, and I'm like, the Dodgers are doing exactly what they should be doing. They should be going out there and flexing their financial muscle and going to get every player that's not nailed down. And if the Dodgers were serious about like getting Juan Soto, like I actually think they could get Juan Soto too, on top of everything they've already done. And if the payroll is $400 million, so be it. Like, who cares? It's not my money. Which if you're a Dodgers fan, you have to love it. If you're a fan of I would say probably like 27 other big league teams that are not spending anywhere near that kind of money, you're probably like, oh really? Come on, we got to deal with this now on top of that. But shout out to the Dodgers, an actual big market team that is serious about winning. We can say that about them. I'm not sure we're gonna be able to say that about the Yankees when they eventually lose Juan Soto.
And if the Mets get them, all of a sudden they look like the big market team. The big market spending team that they would never be under the Wilpons. Now under Steve Cohen, they get Juan Soto. Or they're in that class now. They're in that, and they're actually following through. And people want to get on the Dodgers like, oh, it's exploiting the system, blah 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 blah. People saying the same thing about Vegas with the long-term IR with Mark Stone and all that. Like they're exploiting a loophole in the system that has not been closed. So what is the problem? If you close the loophole, then they can't do it. But
I wouldn't even say they're exploiting a loophole. Like you're allowed to spend like $700 million on payroll if you want to do it. Baseball does not have a hard salary cap. Like baseball's thing is, all right, we're just going to put the luxury tax in there to sort of act as like a de facto deterrent to spending money. But I think the Dodgers are smart enough to realize it's an investment in the team, and when you sign huge star players like Shohei Ohtani and Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman, and you get that return on investment with merchandise sales and all that sort of stuff, where you don't have to worry about the luxury tax because these guys pay for themselves.
They make the money back.
Yeah, I mean, I have all the respect in the world for how the Dodgers operate. And on top of that, the Dodgers have also figured out how to continue to have a consistently good farm system and draft and develop players, even though they're always signing players and giving up draft picks as a result of signing said players. So I have nothing but respect for how the Dodgers run their business.
So do I. I've got no problem with what they're doing, I wish, like you said, other teams would go at with the same, we'll say, gusto that the Dodgers do. But we've talked some baseball here. Well, I don't know. It's been a while since we've gone cup chasing, so let's get that going here. Maybe we'll actually get the hologram.
We want the cup! We want the cup! We want the cup!
That's right. We're hunting the 1990 Pro Set 1 of 5,000 Stanley Cup hologram card on Rip N Riff. All right, there we go. So we're going to do some hockey here. Let's get that out of the way. Come on, hologram. All right, so see here, we got Kalle Johansson. We've got the Conn Smythe Trophy, which went to Bill Ranford that year. That was the year the Bruins lost to the Oilers. The one Gretzky-less Oilers Cup.
Well, if you didn't get chills when Gretzky didn't win that cup, then you're not a real hockey fan.
You know, Jared, I was only 7 years old at the time, but you're absolutely right. I should have appreciated that moment more as a general hockey fan of like the Oilers getting the cup without Gretzky and all that. At 7, I should have had the wherewithal. You're right.
Right.
Do we even do the rest of these packs?
No, I still want to see if you got the card.
Okay, fine. We'll do that then. We got Peter Svoboda there with the Canadiens. Let's see, Frederick Olason, the Jets. Bill Masterton Trophy went to Gord Kluzak that year. Mike Huff. A lot of Nordiques in this pack already. Winnipeg Jets too. Brent Ashton. Jeff Chikrin. I got to believe that there's some relation there to Jacob Chikrin. Same number too, so probably. We got Rick Meager here with the Blues. Yeah, this is a crap pack. Tom Curvers. Lucien DeBlois. Tony Tanti. We got Brett Hull. All-Star card. Terry Karkner and Darren Apupa. Let's go on to the next pack.
We've ripped some bad packs of these cards. So that might be the worst one yet.
Yeah, I know. Like there at least has like been like good players and stuff like that, if nothing else. But that was pretty atrocious. That was almost vomit worthy. Brent Sutter, one of the infamous Sutter brothers there. Adam Creighton, Blackhawks. Dave Tippett with the Whalers. Glenn Wesley. Although this pack is coming up, it's saying "Hold my beer" here. Patrick Flatley, the Islanders. All right, here we go. Cam Neely. Let's talk about the Bruins for a second. I know they got a big win against Montreal yesterday, but like things are not going pretty well in Boston. Maybe like those years of not having actual centers once Bergeron retired and Krejci left. Like I think that everything's finally catching up with them. That they're just a very mid team.
I mean, I feel like the Bruins have actually strung a few wins together here now. I mean, right now they sit third in the Atlantic. 5-4-1 in the last 10. I feel like the Bruins' biggest issue wasn't the coach. It wasn't Montgomery. It was the fact that Jeremy Swayman was basically like an 880 goalie for the first however many starts of the season. And, if they're winning games now, I would guess he's probably playing more like the Jeremy Swayman we would expect. Like, I don't disagree with you about their centers and the issues they have there in terms of their depth up front, but I still think Boston's going to be a playoff team when it's all said and done. Put it this way. I don't trust anyone in that Buffalo, Detroit, Ottawa tier in the Atlantic to take one of those playoff spots from the Bruins. I'll believe it when I see it with one of those teams.
I don't think it's Detroit. I still think that they're going to be finished towards the bottom, if not at the bottom of that division when everything's said and done. Buffalo's got to get hot. Ottawa, yeah, I agree. And I don't think a fifth team from the Metro is going to steal a spot. So, yeah. So, I mean, they're probably still safe as being a playoff team, but might be a first-round exit for them again.
I think you're going to get 4 teams from each division. I would guess it'll probably be the 4 from the Atlantic that you would expect. And I think in the Metropolitan, you're going to get some combination of the Devils, the Rangers, Carolina, and Washington.
Yeah, because, I mean, there's nobody. I mean, yes, Columbus is playing fun hockey and they're winning games, but they're not a threat. Philly's not a threat. Pittsburgh's not a threat. And the Islanders haven't shown anything to say that they're a threat either. So in that division, and then like you said, in the other one, Montreal is very much underachieving. In Buffalo, Detroit, and Ottawa, nobody's really stuck out there. We got Vincent Riendow from the Blues. We got former Devil Yanni Ohanen there. You want me to send you that one? Let's see. We got Vladimir Krutov, one of the guys that was from the defected from Russia, one of those great players from the 80s, played with Larionov and those guys. Let's see here. Dave Gagne, father of Sam Gagne, Jamie McCown, Brian Propp, Steve Eiserman, All-Star card, and Kirk McLean, All-Star card. And then we have a Phil Housley traded to the Jets. So there we go. One more pack to go here.
Steve Eiserman, by the way, another prime example of why franchises should not hire their franchise icons, because the Eiser plan is not working in Detroit through the first however many years he's been there.
It has not, and there's also not a ton of direction with that team. I feel like I don't know, like Patrick Kane and Tarasenko signings, I feel like were just like to fill out the roster and maybe put a recognizable name on the roster. Moritz Seider not having a bad year, but not being that defenseman that he was in previous seasons. So we'll see. More on that. You could go to Total Hockey Now. We'll have a new episode out this Thursday after taking last week off for Thanksgiving. Last pack here. That pack, second pack better than the first pack. We got Ken Baumgartner with the Islanders. We've got Craig Simpson there with the Oilers. Mike McPhee, Dave McElwain. We got a second Cam Neely card. Tony Hercock. Alexei Kasatonov, another member of those Russian teams that came over in the late 80s, early 90s. John Druce. Mikhail Anderson. Dave Poulin. All right, here we go. We got a Joe Sakic card. Here we go. Although I think this could be a misprint, though, because it has him as listed as number 88 there. He was never 88. You see on the bottom there on the right?
You
have to pull that one off to the side. That's an error card there. That could potentially be worth, maybe $1, which is a lot for one of these cards. From this pack, we got Kevin Stevens. We got Mike Bullard. We'll wrap up here. We got Pierre Turgeon, not bad. And then an Ally Afraidy All-Star card who held the record for hardest slap shot before a certain Zdeno Chara came along.
I feel like eventually we're going to come through and get this hologram card, but it's disappointing that we've opened, you've probably ripped a dozen packs of these cards on the show over the last year plus, and we haven't come close to getting one.
We haven't come close. I still probably got about a dozen packs in the box that will scatter out throughout. We'll see. It would be nice to get it. It's 1 in 5,000, so it's not totally impossible. It's not like we're trying to get a 1 of 1 here, but it's also a very mass-produced set. So, I mean, you can go get a box for $25 plus shipping right now on any sort of like Facebook junk wax group or something like that. So, time to get to our pulls of the day here. For me, I mean, it could go one of 3 ways. It could go we could go with either the Joe Sakic error card that I'm going to have to look up there. We'll get that in a penny sleeve in a little bit. The Gavin Lux rookie. But I think because we're so pro Philly and we're just trying to send all those positive Philadelphia vibes out there, I got to go with the Rockin' Philly card with, Bryce Harper and Gene Segura having a wonderful time there.
I was going to go the Tyrone Wheatley rookie card, but since you're going to go heavy Philadelphia, I will match what you said by going with the, even though it's a base card, the Randall Cunningham card there. One of the great quarterbacks in NFL history, certainly one of the great quarterbacks in Eagles history as well.
Now, growing up in New York, I didn't have cable. There was no such thing as a package. So you got the Giants and the Jets games. I will say, when the Giants played the Eagles, I'd be excited to watch Randall Cunningham, or if we got that nationally televised game or whatever. He was fun to watch, especially as a kid, watching him scramble all over the field, making these deep throws, or like almost gets brought down, and then just keeps the play going. Like he was ahead of his time.
Oh yeah, and then on the Giants side, you got to watch like Dave Brown or Ken Graham or whoever.
Danny Cannell.
Yeah, or in recent years, Daniel Jones, who at least Daniel Jones could run a little bit, but like still like, it's the modern version of it. You got Daniel Jones on the Giants side, you have Jalen Hurts on the Eagles side. It's like, which one would you rather have? I think it's pretty obvious.
I mean, what other random Giant quarterbacks can we name? You got Jared Lorenzen. Let's see, who else has started games for the Giants over the years here?
Geno Smith.
Oh yeah, I forgot he had a stop there. Oh man, they are just.
It's tough to name random Giants quarterbacks because Eli had that long consecutive games played streak. So a lot of between like 04 and I guess 2018, 2019, when that streak finally ended, like nobody else started any games for the Giants. But you can name a few. I mean, obviously like Kerry Collins and Kurt Warner was the Giants quarterback. You can name some of the backups, like David Carr was one of the backups for Eli for a stretch. And the Giants have had some very interesting backups the last few years, like with like Matt Barkley coming in and Jake Fromm and some other guys as well. And right now they're playing out the string with Drew Lock and Tommy Cutlets. So with Tim Boyle acting as the number 3. So they're going to be in the quarterback business certainly this offseason. I do want to float one thing to you before we get to the starting lineup because we have some time here.
Okay.
I thought about tweeting this. I thought about tweeting this over the weekend as well, but I elected not to. If you're the Giants and you get the number 1 overall pick, do you take the quarterback or do you actually take the best player available? Because I would argue you should go the best player available, and to me, it's Travis Hunter.
Now, I haven't done a ton of diving on the 2026 draft class, but it is my understanding that the quarterbacks coming out overall in 2026 is a better class than what's coming out this year, correct? I mean, I know there's Cam Ward, I know there's Shedeur Sanders, but it's a better class the following year.
Correct.
Now, if you take Shedeur Sanders, you're taking all of...
You're stuck. You're committing to Shedeur Sanders for 4 years.
You're stuck. You're signing up for whatever circus comes with that. And
which as a Giants fan, I want no part of the Deion circus.
Correct. Especially in the New York market, it's going to be laid on extra thick. To me, I agree. I understand that might be sacrilege coming, when you're talking about a team whose current quarterbacks are Tommy DeVito, formerly Daniel Jones, and Tim Boyle and Drew Lock. How could you not take a quarterback? The quarterback ain't fixing something next year. Go get the best player on the board. You're still going to be a bad enough team the following year that you should still get one of those top quarterbacks wherever you want to get them.
Right.
And then away you go.
Yeah. Like if it were me running the team and being the fantasy GM, I think I would go get like a Sam Darnold stopgap. Like that'd probably be like, the perfect guy, or like maybe like Derek Carr if he gets cut, somebody like that, somebody of that ilk to be your quarterback for a year. Because those guys aren't going to be good enough to win you a ton of games, and just continue building the rest of the roster because the rest of the roster needs it. But like, if you told me next year you had Sam Darnold at quarterback, and like on one side of the field you have Malik Neighbors at receiver, and on the other side of the field you have Travis Hunter, like, all right, now you're cooking. Now you're actually building something.
And yeah, it's for me with the Jets, I don't even know what I want them to do. I think that's also a best player available situation because they might be picking high enough too. We'll see how the last few weeks go. But yeah, if the Giants, you got to scrap that offense. Just needs to be. You already scrapped it when you didn't bring back Barkley and you chose to pay Jones. Now you just need to take the sledgehammer and just knock it down to the frame and the foundation and do it over.
Do it over.
And taking Shedeur Sanders, all that's going to do is going to create a headache and limit the rebuild and throw wrenches in the engine for the next couple of years. So do it the right way. Now, let's get to the figure 5 here. Today it's going to be basketball. We did hockey cards. We did football cards. We did baseball cards. It's only right. I've got the gentleman at my feet here. And without further ado, we got 5 questions before you guess. Let's go with question number 1.
Wait, what sport are we doing?
Basketball.
Oh, we're doing basketball. Okay. Is this player an NBA champion?
Yes, he is a how many time champion? I'm gonna have to 5-time NBA champion.
Did this player win some of his championships with the Bulls?
3 of them came with the 2 of them came with the Bulls.
2 of them came with the Bulls.
Oh, 3.
3 of them came with the Bulls. Did he also win some of his championships with the Spurs?
No.
Okay. Is this player a current NBA head coach?
No, I don't think anybody would ever hire him as a head coach.
Okay. Now I certainly know where you're going with that. This player won his other championships with the Pistons.
Yeah, I believe we're on. I believe the hint gave it away, but yes, he did win his other championship.
Yeah, it's Dennis Rodman.
Yes, it is. I was excited. You back off the. You can get one right. And I saw this one recently on line. I'm like, I gotta get it. The price was right. It's got the dyed hair and everything. How could I not get Dennis Rodman here? Good job.
Nice. Yeah, I was thinking Steve Kerr for a little bit, but then once you said absolutely not to be a head coach, I was like, all right, you kind of gave it away there.
Now, had I not given that hint, would you think you still would have gotten a Rodman at some point, or
probably not? Because I was going in the other direction in terms of like when he won some of his other titles, which is why I asked the Spurs question, because I was trying to think, all right, well, did he win any of his titles with the Lakers as well? Because you obviously have a little bit of the overlap there with Phil, but I don't know the NBA that in depth where I know all the role players on the Bulls who just who happen to also get a cup of coffee with the Lakers and ride their coattails to a couple championships. So fortunately I didn't have to do that. So yeah, we got Dennis Rodman.
So what was cool about the Rodman from this year is they actually had a couple of variants. They had a red hair one, a yellow hair one, a green hair one. And the card there, he's got the red hair. Here he's got the yellow hair, and he's got the black Bulls jersey on as opposed to the typical red as pictured. But throw that down. And then there he is wearing number 91 there, the old school Bulls jersey. Shout out Bill Zimmerman.
By the way, the black Bulls jersey, kind of a sick look. I like that.
I love the Black Bulls jersey. I remember when they first came out with that. I mean, to me, that's exactly what the Devils jersey would look like if they ever released a black jersey. Like that's that's pretty much the color scheme right there.
They have released a black jersey, and it does not look like that. And again, this is why you don't hire your franchise icons to make decisions in the organization, because Marty Brodeur designed that jersey, and lo and behold, it's not a great alternate third jersey.
And it's like you didn't have. Let's not overcomplicate this. Literally, just take your red jerseys and flip the red and the black. That's it. There you go. One of the probably nicest jerseys in hockey, right there. No.
Instead they had to make a bunch of random obscure nods and references to teams that nobody knew existed, like this 1940s roller hockey team that played in Newark back in the day. Is like, I don't even know who these people are. Like, what do they have to do with the Devils other than they also played in Newark? And the answer is nothing. So
nothing. Well, there you go. So, well, maybe one day they'll get it right, but probably not, because that would be too easy. But Jared's got gets back in the winning column here, and he's going to be a part of the starting lineup, figure 5, Mr. Rodman, next week. Now, this week I decided to go with the theme who I think the Final Four in the AFC are going to be this year, and I don't think I'm really going out on a limb here by saying it's going to be Buffalo, Pittsburgh, Baltimore, and Kansas City. There you see the 93 Montana. The 98 Vinny Testaverde looks like he's about to air one out deep there. Got Greg Lloyd from the 95 edition. Then, of course, the legendary defensive end, pass rusher, Bruce Smith from the 97 edition there. But that's what I think we're looking at there for the Final Four in the AFC, and I really don't think that's going too far out on a limb or too hot of a take there.
No, that sounds about right. I mean, Kansas City will get the bye. Buffalo certainly looks like a team that might be playing in that championship game, and a little bit down on the Ravens the last couple weeks. Obviously the loss to Philly yesterday, but I mean, when you go and lose a game to the eventual Super Bowl champions, I mean, I guess there's no shame in that. And the Steelers, good win yesterday on the road in Cincinnati. So we'll see how that ultimately plays out.
And we should point out that whoever comes out of that Final Four in the AFC, they're just playing for the right to lose to Philadelphia. We're not delusional.
Right. You're playing for the silver medal, which, I mean, hey, playing for the silver medal, I mean, if this is like, I don't know, women's pole vaulting in the Summer Olympics, that might not necessarily be a bad thing, playing for the silver medal.
I mean, for me, as a silver medal, silver goes with more things than gold. So you can wear the medal out more, it's not as gaudy, and nobody's going to wear bronze. So we're not even going to talk about the bronze medal, but the silver could be worse. But again, it's all about the Eagles here. They're going all the way. Sorry, Dan Campbell. Sorry, Lions fans. Sorry, Josh Allen and Bills fans who, they've been waiting a long time too. It's just Philly's year again. What are we going to do?
Yeah. I mean, as it was foretold when, Jason Kelsey was at the Monday night game earlier this year when they lost to the Falcons, and everybody was dunking on the Falcons that night. But hey, the heart of a champion to rebound off of a tough home loss like that.
It's those are the turnaround moments in those old-fashioned 45-minute NFL film videos that recap the championship season. That's the turning point right there, was that Falcons loss. Now, let's do some housekeeping before we get out of here. Jared, you got any poker videos coming out this week? Anything we should be looking out for at Jared Moore Poker on YouTube?
Yeah, we definitely have something coming out this week. I don't remember what, because I already made it and scheduled it. So, but that does remind me that I'm gonna have to make a new batch of shorts to probably go through the end of the year. So we'll probably start getting to work on that this week.
Glad we can serve as a reminder here on Rip N Riff. You also all about the jersey.com. What Devils article do we have coming out this week? We know we got the Rangers tonight, but what do we got coming out this week?
My theme this week is the league is as wide open as it has been in quite some time. So, fortune favors the bold. You should go for it and make whatever moves you need to try to win a cup now.
I agree. The league is, I know it's, December 2nd, but it's as wide open as it's been that I can remember at this point in the season in a while. You get more hockey coverage, Total Hockey Now. We took last week off for Thanksgiving. We're back live this Thursday. We'll talk 4-nation face-off rosters because Finland and Sweden's come out Wednesday. USA and Canada's Thursday, so we'll definitely be breaking down those rosters. We're even going to reveal a faux Team Russia and Team Europe roster because there's still enough European players left enough to make a formidable squad over who's left. So from the other countries that are not represented besides Finland and Sweden. So there we go. We'll do that as well.
You should also make a Team North America roster with the under 22s. So, do that as well.
I mean, after I wonder if you'll be able to make one over the leftovers because, there are going to be more vets, I would imagine, on the team. You probably can make one out of the leftovers too, but we'll see when the rosters come out.
Yeah, the Canadian B team would probably win the silver medal of this tournament.
The only reason I caution against that is Canada has their best goaltending option right now is Logan Thompson.
Their goaltending stinks. So yeah, it is what it is. Unfortunately,
for the United,
unfortunately, depending on how you're rooting, I don't really have a rooting interest, so I don't really care.
If the United States, whoever doesn't make it among the three goalies, they would automatically start. Whoever gets cut, and I want to say Sweden's like that too. Like whoever doesn't make it would still start over. I mean, I know Logan Thompson's playing well this year, but I don't know if I want to go into a short tournament with him as my guy. Like that's the guy, But that's neither here nor there. But we'll be back with you next week. All new episode of Rip and Riff here. It's been fun. But for at Mr. Jared Moore, I am at Pucking Thoughts Adam Bernard. We got another week to go here. We got a couple more weeks to go before the end of the year. Thank you for tuning in. Back with you soon on another episode of Rip and Riff.